I hope you were hibernating, little cub. I can't think of another reason you wouldn't come down to say hello.
Jaheira! I didn't want to see if you were really dead. They said...
Who said?
Jord and Ryan. They didn't think I could hear.
You little sneak thief? Well, they were wrong. Look! Not dead. I just... had a few adventures. Like,
Really?
Really?
Now, cub. Solitude is a wonderful thing, but not too much. Come downstairs and fight with your sisters.
Wait. Here. I was... keeping this safe.
My Harper pin. Oh, was a certain little sneak thief playing down in my sanctuary?
No.
This Harper pin opens more doors than most. Come down to my study and see if you can figure it out.
Don't tell Mother. Prints on the tabletop. We haven't been poking around.
Ah, I wondered if it would take you long to spot.
I know. It's not a very good...
Pay no mind to those. You're probably safe so long as I am here. But if you do not trust me, take the weight from the pressure plate there.
The orb casts glyphs familiar to the druid of ownership. Overwhelming it with the same element can often disable the enchantment.
Have no fear. The traps aren't meant for you. But, better to stick close, eh?
The orb casts glyphs familiar to the druid of ownership. Overwhelming it with the same element can often disable the enchantment. The orb casts glyphs familiar to the druid of ownership. Overwhelming it with the same element can often disable the enchantment.
The only patch of wilderness this city permits me. There ought to be supplies here to aid us.
You know this place, Boo. Minsk has never been invited.
I should speak up.
The Archdruid's eyes and ears have fallen away in her absence. I am training new ones.
I bring word of gnomes! Gnomes in the sea!
There's been killings in a holy place. Stinks of incense and blood.
Down by the Blushing Mermaid, there's a stink of something fey. Smell of arse, too. But Boss doesn't care about that.
If you are not meant to be here, the Archdruid's traps will see to you. If you have business, be about it. If you do not, poke around and see what happens.
Keen eye. But if it's supplies you seek, weapons to aid in our fight, you won't find them behind that door. There is nothing back there of worth to anyone but me. Not a wild shape I have mastered. Just yet. On my word, all you will find inside is dust. And the moldering keepsakes of a much younger woman.
Jaheira, our friend has put their trust in us. Boo thinks it is only right to return the gesture, no?
You so rarely make a habit of being right, Ranger, that it puts me ill at ease when you are. Pass then. Go on. See what it is a foolish old Harper thinks worth hiding away.
Watch how you go. There's a trap.
A gift from my husband. I've had to renew parts over the years, but the heart remains the same as the day he gave it to me.
Rite of the Timeless Body. What's that about? I best ask Jaheira.
Yes? The threat of spanking never kept the children from poking through my things. Why should it deter you? It is a ritual, or it describes one at least, practiced by druids of certain esoteric circles. If they be learned and powerful enough, the practitioner of this ritual might slow their aging, extend their life well beyond its natural reach. In greener days, I might have been strong enough to do it. I might be yet, with the right preparations. I make no plans. Only contingencies. Do not look at me like that. I have been content to see the span of my natural years. A privilege far too few in this world can claim. I do not speak of clinging to life for its own sake, I just look back on that life's work and I wonder, is it done? The dead tree plague the world still. The city still falls prey to small minds like Gortash or lost souls like Orin. It is every Harper's hope to be a light that drives out darkness. But I've lived long enough to see so many of those lights burn out, while the shadows cling stubbornly on. Knowing that, isn't it our duty to burn on if we can? To fight for as long as we are able?
Minsk does not understand the question. You will live forever, Jaheira.
Of course I will, Berserker. And you will sprout soft and golden locks from that shining skull. In truth, I had put this ritual from my mind. Until last light. Trapped in that darkness. I turned to my research again. What if I was a little stronger? As fast as I once had been. Then you came. And made the question moot. But I kept this. Just in case, I told myself. A final resort. Perhaps you were not the savior you seemed. I had learned better than to think of life as some simple tale after all. There is no guarantee of happy endings, or true heroes. I believe that still. But when I look on all that we have achieved since, I wonder perhaps it is not heroes we need. Only people who are willing to try. I do not know what manner of story that makes. But I do know that without an ending, it would be no story at all. So I will accept mine. When and however it comes. As for this city story, well... Well, that is entirely your problem now, Cub. And age better, too. She who is most weathered is also most wise. But I do not plan on going anywhere just yet. And besides, you still have a tadpole in your skull. You're almost certainly going to die first. I have given you much reason to think that Harpers hoard secrets like precious stones, but I promise you, this was not some intrigue. Just, plain and simple foolishness. As if by keeping clear of my family, I might keep them clear of the cult in turn. And if this fight were to go against us, well, we had already done their mourning. Why visit it on them twice? Of course I was. You met her, did you not? The girl had opinions before she had teeth. I was wrong to think I could keep my children from this fight. They're Baldurian born and bred. The only damned reason I root myself in this place. This city is a cesspit. An open sewer of the soul that taints us with its filth and churns us out when all that is good has been stripped away. It also happens to be their home. And so it is mine. Ugh. That might be the first time I have said that out loud. Now come. We had best get to saving it. Lest Ryan turn her ire on us both. Ask it. You speak of a battle more than a century past. Baal's minions led us through a maze in the Undercity, older than Baldur's Gate itself. We paid little mind to the path ahead, let alone how we might return, or that we would return at all. Still, the Undercity shifts. We might search down there. Or better yet, find a ballast to lead us. Oh dear. Should I brace myself for some fashion advice? But I suppose you have earned better than glibness from me. It was a gift from my husband Khalid. He was a Harper. A better one than me, truth be told. Any idiot can swing a sword, but to believe in the cause with the whole of your heart, a much trickier thing. He died. Alone. In pain. And far too young. Murdered by a mage who craved immortality. I'll not grant it by naming him in the same breath as my husband.
The quiet, unassuming shadow to Jaheira's strength, Khalid was another warrior who helped end the Balspawn crisis. Shortly after, he was murdered by the mad mage John Irenicus.
I've never known a warrior to go so far out of his way to avoid a fight, which meant the few he chose were usually the right ones. Most Harpers swagger and flash their feathers to catch your attention. Khalid was quiet to a fault. And when we were married, on an upturned cart in the rainy Dalelands, he stammered so much. I've never been sure if our vows actually counted. The druid in me would like to say it was a thing of balance. The younger woman recalls rather more about a fine bottom, and the habit not to speak unless he had something to say. The songs make much of Khalid's meekness. A quiet little Harper who had to keep a tight hold on his courage, but he had it when it counted. And more than that, he had compassion. When you live a Harper's life, see all that a Harper sees, that is by far the harder thing to hold on to. But a bard can tell you all the rest. As for all the things they cannot, well, I shall just have to keep those for myself. Let us show them.
Jaheira's old weapons. They look strong as ever. Minsk should know. They gave him many bruises over the years.
Yes? Ask it. I've learned not to unpick the legends so many have woven around our name. Seeing the hope die in a romantic's eyes, it is only funny the first few dozen times. Some call the Harpers heroes. Others, petty meddlers who cannot help but stick their nose into every conflict they stumble across. The truth is in there somewhere. We try to work towards a common balance. If every other faction finds us equally annoying, that is probably a sign that we are succeeding. You might say that. I left their service and swore never to return. Multiple times, if I recall. It is easy to get tired of the intrigue. The high causes shrouded in secrecy. I thought I might find another way to be of use to the world. And for a time I did. But my comrades would use a rather irritating phrase. A Harper never leaves the chorus. She simply goes to spread the song. Meaning that whatever cause I turned my hand to, there I would find them. Harpers, stuffed with their own virtue, but always there, always trying to help. So I returned to the fold, returned to the city. Eventually they hung a title around my neck, High Harper, and I still do not know how to play one. If I wanted to spare Geraldus the same headaches, well, you now know why I needed him to be sure this is the life he wants. But you're staring. Which means the tadpole has finally eaten your brain. Or have I been talking too much? Either way, time to move, no? Ha! No. No, thank you. Let the wiser members of my order wrinkle their brows over that particular phrase. In all my years fighting for the Harpers, I am still never certain what the greater good means. I've learned to be content with, well, that was not so bad as it might have been.